Hello guys and welcome to today's tropical update, and as you guys can see we are here with a video on tropical cyclone Emnati. Um, as you guys know, Madagascar has been the punching bag of this year's Southwest Indian Ocean cyclone season. They've had Anna, they had Batsarai, they had Dumako, and now potentially and most likely Emnati. So this is located at 17.2 south, 56.6 east. Max sustained winds are 105 knots or 120 miles per hour. Minimal sensor pressure is at 932 millibars. Let's see if this is going to load it for us. Of course not. Um, that needs to get fixed because I can never get that to load. But anyways, as you guys can see, it has pretty deep convection here. As you can see, the CDO here. Very dark colors popping in here on the north and south side here. And as you can see the eye here that is trying to clear out. There has been some dry air intrusions as of late, but I think those are since fixing, it's fixing itself by the look of presentation on the infrared satellite here. And the fact that it's at 105 knots right now. So we are at a major cyclone right now for Emnati. And here is what the Joint Typhoon Weather Center Warning Center is forecasting for Emnati. Right now, this was at 18Z, so this was like 6 hours ago. Obviously, they don't do updates. I think they do updates every like 12 hours or so. So we won't get a new update until overnight tonight. But as you can see, they weren't expecting 105 knots until 2 2 p.m. tomorrow. So they expected a whole 24 hours between 85 and 105 knots. So I mean, it's already there. So obviously, it's rapidly intensifying right now as we speak because that's a pretty big increase from the winds and stuff, right? From this morning to now. So it's pretty much, you can classify this as rapid intensification. Um, as you can see, it has a 105 knot peak, and it keeps it there for about a whole day before going into Madagascar and rapidly weaken because there's mountainous terrains in those areas. 105 knots, obviously now that's conservative, but you know, it could make it up to a category 4 before it starts to, go downhill and weaken a little bit. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the GFS here, and this was initialized at 18Z today. As you can see, it's initialized at 961 millibars. So let's go out 24. Here we go at a 957. See if we can't get any soundings, and we do. We finally get some soundings around here. As you can see, the shear from the 200 to 850 millibars levels are only 10 knots. So this is definitely acceptable for further intensification of the system as we go out through time. And as you see, the relative humidity is 87%. So it has everything right now going for it than it does against it. So we're gonna go out in there 48 hours. Here's 955 millibars, and obviously because we're too close to land, it's not going to show us anything. So that's all right. And as you can see, they're outer rain bands are starting to affect Madagascar here. Like I said, these are the same places that got hit by Anne, Batsarai, Dumako, and now potentially Emnati here, in just 48 hours or so. And as you can see, it makes a very close approach, but I think it barely misses landfall. It could be at the very tip of that southeast part of Madagascar. That's cutting it really close right now. But regardless of if it does this kind of approach and doesn't make landfall, you're still going to get very, bad weather, going inland a little bit, but mostly near the coastline of eastern and southeastern Madagascar, and potentially central eastern Madagascar as well, as we go out through time and we see what happens with it going forward. So with that being said, now we're going to take a look at the total accumulative precipitation, and this is important. You want to know why this is important? Because they're totally saturated right now to like no end. Because you had all the rain from Anna, you had all the rain from Batsarai, you had all the rain from Dumako, and now you're about to get whiplashed by another system in Emnati. So we're gonna see how much more rainfall Madagascar is gonna see from this going forward. And as you can see, um, yeah, my fears and suspicions are true with this one. As you can see, there are some oranges and yellow shades here, indicative of 300 to 500 millimeters of rain, which is 13 to 21 inches of rain that could fall in these regions, going forward. And like I said, some of these places are already waterlogged at this point, and it won't take but maybe an inch or two even now at this point to cause some massive disruptions in flooding. So I feel bad for the people of Madagascar that they have to live through all of this. This reminds me of Florida in 2004, where they got continuous hits by tropical cyclones. I mean, obviously Madagascar hasn't had four major hurricanes come through here, but because of how poorly their structures are, you might as well say that it's been four majors that have been coming through there. So you hate to see it. Hopefully this is the last one for them for the season. They deserve the break, but bunker down. As much as you can. Listen to your local outlets. See if they can help you through the system, and if you absolutely can, evacuate. Evacuation is very important so people can stay alive in these systems. I want you guys to be watching me, and I want to be keeping these updates for you guys. So, stay alive. Fight. Evacuate, and that's all there is to it if you can. All right, so here is the Ecmwf, and as you can see, initialized at 18Z, which I like this now because chopper tidbits used to be only 0C and 12Z, but now they got 6Z and 18Z. But 6Z and 18Z only go out to 90 hours, but that's good enough for what we're trying to accomplish today. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So here's 24 hours out, 971 millibars. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same looking as the GFS in terms of the soundings. As you can see, it's about 2 knots higher in wind shear than it is the GFS, but this is still acceptable enough for further intensification purposes. And as you can see, the relative humidity is at 83%. So now we're going to go 48 hours. And as you can see, it's starting to make its close approach to Madagascar at 48 hours at 963 millibars. So this thing is keeping steady, strengthening, and as you can see, it makes a landfall in 63 hours as a 970 millibar system, which I think is 969. But what's 1 millimeter, right? Or not 1 millimeter, but 1 millibar. So yeah, there's that. And as you can see, it makes a landfall and it just cuts right across from central eastern Madagascar all the way to southwest Madagascar. So it looks like it's gonna be kind of a slow mover, and we're gonna see, like I said, we're gonna see the rainfall rates, not the rates, but total accumulation here from Emnati on the European. And as you can see, it's it's not painting a pretty picture here. As you can see, 300 to 500 millimeters, just like the GFS. And like I said, a lot of these places are flood prone because of the 3 or 4, tropical cyclones that it already had. I believe that they got the remnants of Cliff too, so I'm going to count that in there as well, even though it's not actually named anymore. They got the remnants of Cliff as well. So whatever rain that came from Cliff's remnants, you got to add that to the totals too. You're talking about a disaster in the making here. Um, they can't take any much more of this, and you got God bless their hearts. I'm praying for you guys, and make sure like I said, take care of all steps possible to make sure you and your family stay safe ahead of the storm. So, flooding is definitely a concern. Um, I'll go over other concerns here in just a moment, and now we're going to take a look at the H-Wharf here. And as you can see, this was initialized at 18Z, so this is the latest run here, and this is initialized at 950 millibars. So this is pretty decently spot on because it's at about a 953 right now. So let's go 24 hours out, 972, now 942. I mean, excuse me. And as you can see, this is probably peak intensity right here, 929. And as you can see, it's a pretty healthy looking system there, making landfall in 75 hours in central eastern Madagascar, and that's not a good look whatsoever. We're gonna take a look at 10 knot winds here, and as you can see, peak winds are at 116 miles per knots, so that's pretty decent. And as you can see, it makes landfall as a major cyclone according to the H-Wharf at 104.4 knots. So, H-Wharf has been doing pretty good with these systems lately, even without recon, which is kind of scary. Um, as you as you guys said, as I said, I was going to go over other hazards. You're going to obviously deal with the very heavy rains. You're going to deal with the storm surge once again. I hate to keep saying that, but it's just it is what it is right now. Unfortunately, you're going to deal with very gusty winds. You're probably going to deal with power outages, and we don't know how the home structures are after the last couple cyclones. So you're probably going to see those get completely wiped off their foundations if it stays strong. It's just like it's a never-ending cycle right now, a broken record of cyclones that just want to bully Madagascar right now. So like I said, I hope that you guys are taking your preparation seriously. You know, at this point, since you guys have dealt with so many, yeah, I would just go ahead and evacuate. Just go. Do yourselves a favor. Don't stay for the storm. Just get out. Because, you know, you're going to see, you've seen this over and over and over again. I'm sure you guys are getting sick of seeing it over and over and over again already. So, my advice is to evacuate wherever this may go. Um, I want to have your guys' safety in mind as you guys go through forward. And I will be back again tomorrow with another update on Emnati. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. Be safe. Listen to your local news providers for information about the system. All right. Good night and stay safe.